You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey guys, my name is Crispin Pally, and I want to welcome you to Soggy Lake, Guntersville. This week on the show, I'm going to be in North Alabama on Guntersville Lake, Lake Guntersville, whatever you want to call it. It is a bass mecca. It's in northern Alabama. It's the largest lake in the state of Alabama. It's 75 miles long, and it is known throughout the nation as just an incredible bass fishery. I'm going to be with a good friend of mine who's a local here that I fished with several times. He expansive amount of knowledge on the lake, and we're going to go chase down largemouth bass on offshore grass lines. We're also going to get you some local fishing reports from your inside reporter and lots of other good info. So we're going to ease around, try to give this rain a chance to break, and while we do that, we're going to send you back to the FSN studios for your weekend planner.
This lunar forecast for the weekend is indicating fair conditions for both days on the water. Peak times in the morning are predicted to start at 7:30 on Saturday and 8:17 on Sunday, and the best evening activity should begin roughly around dusk. Expect the sun to rise at 6:53 and set at 8:09. And this weekend will feature a first quarter moon that is 50% illuminated. Stay with us. We've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, I'll return with catfishing expert Chad Ferguson for this week's Ask the Pro feature. Back in a bit.
Well, we've got a beautiful morning. We're on the Tennessee River. We're on Guntersville Lake. Just historically one of the best bass lakes in the country, and you know, it's known for big bass. It's known for a lot of bass. It's known for it's very prolific vegetation. It's a really neat fishery. Probably historically the best lake on the Tennessee River. I'm here with a really good friend of mine, Walt Roberts. Walt is a hammer on Guntersville. He's my ringer today. So what have we got to look forward to today, Walt?
Well, it sounds like I got a lot of pressure on me.
No pressure, man. You just gotta get us 5 or 6 great big ones.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, it's been pretty good here. It is late in the summer, and fish are setting up pretty good. So we're gonna go out with some hard baits and see what we can do.
Okay, we're gonna go throw some crankbaits, some topwater, just some Strike King hard baits around. Try to get you some big fish. We're going to send you some local fishing reports. We'll get lots of cool stuff happening today. Stay tuned.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan your fishing vacation and catch the details at orangebeach.com/fishing. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
He got him a mouthful of a structure jig. What you got, Walt?
You know what? I don't know how big it is.
Is that on the 4.0?
4.0.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Oh! He just wanted to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
Pick my 4.0 up.
This is the edge of this point. They get it set up on the edge of it good. There's one.
You got him?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of your way. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Oh! They're a little wild on me.
These fish on this, I hit spotlight just
that's good.
Out of habit. So.
Yep.
These fish in this grass, where there's a lot of bait and a lot of oxygen, they do tend to be kind of wild sometimes.
Oh yeah. They're on the end of this point. The small ones, they're getting the back hook. Of course, I don't catch the big ones, I catch the little one.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it just about always goes.
Lost the 2 good ones and got their offspring. We gonna get them though.
Look at that stinking 4.0 you got.
Look at
We
that.
don't have hardly any paint left on it.
Yeah, this one's caught a few here. There's some fish out there. That's a good one. Let me get out.
I don't think he's very big.
Oh, but he's one.
Picked that jig up, pulled it into a little old pile of grass down there, and he wasn't coming off, as you can see. He is, he got him a mouthful of a structure jig. I don't even know what, there it is. You know, a lot of times on these little spots like this where you've got scattered grass, you can drag a jig around, swim a jig around, and when it hits a grass pile, kind of shake it, pop it out, and eat it. And that's exactly what just happened. I pulled it into a wad of grass. When I popped it out, he just loaded up on it. We're hunting big ones. We're into numbers. Numbers aren't bad. Big ones are better.
Hey, they say seeing is believing, so here's proof that the little tiny crappie baits are doing really well to catch that species here in the state of Oklahoma at this time. I recently jumped in the back of the boat with Gary Rowe of Wagner and Kelly Boston, who's the outdoor editor at Tulsa World, for a crappie outing on Fort Gibson Lake. But don't think this technique is Fort Gibson specific. I'm confident you can use it to catch that species at most of our crappie lakes across the state at this time. We were using the little Bobby Garland 1/48-ounce jig heads, rigging it with either the itty bit slab slayer or the itty bit swimmer. Best colors were monkey milk, pearl, and white and chartreuse. Now we're taking a small split shot and putting that 10 to 12 inches above that bait. We were either casting and letting that bait pendulum down to the top in about 9 to 10 foot of water of brush piles that were in 10 to 15 feet of water, or we were vertical jigging it. Vertical jigging it, they seemed to really want it just dead still, and man, they were smacking it hard. A lot of fun fishing this way, and you can tell the difference between the size of those little tiny baits and your typical baby shad swimmer that you see in this image here. Big difference. They're liking that little bait right now. You can catch them in the state of Oklahoma, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
There you go.
Called that one. And we should have kept a count today. That's what we should have done.
That's a spot.
That's a Kentucky. That ain't a bad Kentucky either.
No, that's pretty good.
These suckers right here now. Here, let's have a little education time. This is, I called it a Kentucky. Y'all don't call them Kentuckys, do you?
Spotted bass.
Spotted bass.
That's right.
Y'all don't like.
We don't talk about Kentucky.
Yeah, so in Alabama they call them spotted bass. Everywhere else they call them Kentuckys. Just, no, we won't tell them. We'll just act like we don't know the difference. But let me show you about a spotted bass. His coloration is a little bit different than a largemouth, but one of the easiest ways to tell is his jawbone does not extend past his eyeball. A largemouth can look like a spotted bass in color, but two distinct things. His jawbone, a spotted bass, will not extend past his eyeball. And if you can see right here, a true full-blooded spot has got a little patch on his tongue. It's rough, feels kind of like Velcro. So that is a spotted bass. They are, they're chunky little fish. They're very aggressive fish. They do get big in Alabama. Alabama has a strain called the Coosa River Spot.
That's right.
That they get big, like 5 and 6 pounders, right?
That's right, yep.
Hey boy, he thumped it. Look, he's a TV star.
It's a little better fish. A little better one. A little better.
Hey boy, he thumped it. Look, he's a TV star. That sucker right there is getting with it. Come here. A nice chunk, just a good solid, boy, you talking about hook good. I'm proud of myself on that one. Just a real pretty solid, just a keeper fish. Nothing, you know, to write home about, but a darn good one I'm proud of. We're actually on the river channel, and what we're doing, there's a little, kind of a little cut in here. What we did, just run down here, kind of looking at the map. And one of the cool things about Guntersville, I've said this, and I don't know if I've said this to you guys, but one of the cool things about it is if it looks good on a map, there's a lot of times there's fish on it. And this is just a place that's got a little bar right up to the river, some submerged grass. It's not topped out yet. Most of the Tennessee River, the fish really relate to offshore structure, but these fish will actually kind of leave the deeper ledges and get in that shallower grass as it starts to mature throughout the summer. And there's countless ways to catch them. I just caught that one on a piece of soft plastic, but I think Walt's throwing a jig, and I mean, it's a lot of fun. And like I say, I'm gonna say it again, it's a great place to come because they're so easy to find.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you once again by the good folks at Fiberworks Marine Collision. When you want the work done absolutely right and you want it done fast, give the folks at Fiberworks Marine Collision a call. Now this week we're going to start at Richland Chambers. At one time, RC was thought to be one of the best up-and-coming bass lakes anywhere in the state. And for some reason, it didn't live up to the potential, at least in the minds of the fishermen. You see, you can go out to RC now on a weekday and you might be one of only 2 or 3 bass boats on the entire lake. And it's full of fish. Tournament time rolls around, more than 20 pounds to place in the money. So what are we going to do? Start your day shallow in the vegetation and around the boat docks, then move out deep to the old oil pads, humps, and main lake points. Fish your deep diving crankbaits, fish your drop shots, and fish your Carolina rigs. Now over to Lake Bridgeport, there is a fantastic sand bass bite going on right now with sand bass schooling on almost all of the main lake points and around the islands. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Fiberworks Marine Collision. Check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Hi, I'm Captain Joey Ferry with your South Texas Regional Report, brought to you by WAYPOINT Marine, Blazer Bay, Boats, Waterloo Rods, and Netics Sportswear. Folks, access some of our public beaches. We've got lots of piers, jetties, and the surf is really going off right now with the seas laid down flat. We're seeing kingfish, Spanish mackerel, and tarpon at the very ends of those jetties, and along the sides of the rocks there with live shrimp under popping corks, a lot of redfish and speckled trout as well. And in the bay, when slick conditions reside, go out to those wells in Corpus Bay. We're getting small sharks, big bull reds, speckled trout, and sand trout. And in the lagoon, the hottest deal is the big redfish in about 3 or 4 feet of water, drifting with pin perch under a popping cork. And then the land cut's always good this time of year as water temperatures are high. They all fall into that cut there. We're fishing the east and west side of the land cut with live croaker with a tiny split shot to keep it down. And in Port Mansfield, it seems like everywhere that's less than 2 feet is full of reds. They're drift fishing with gold spoons and soft plastics and really killing it. Hey, follow all of our hookups on Facebook at Joey Ferris Backwater Fishing, and we'll see you next week.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by MotorGuide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries powering the world forward. WAYPOINT Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
That's a nice fish right there. It's a good, solid keeper.
Oh yeah. That was pushing 3.
Yeah.
Got me one.
Better one?
Can't tell, it's down there deep, but I believe he's a pretty good.
Looks like he's shaking his head like a good one. The suspense.
This is one I've had so far.
Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish right there. It's a good, solid keeper.
Oh yeah. That was pushing 3.
Yeah. So here's the deal. We have, we've actually pulled out here and got on this road bed. And
we'll put this one back.
Yeah, let's let him swim back. We've gotten on this road bed, kind of just some offshore structure. Well, everything we've been fishing's been grass, But this is a whole lot easier to fish for sure.
Yeah.
And it's deep. This is deeper than anything we fished all day.
Yeah, we're fishing 17 feet of water here.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's deep stuff.
And Guntersville is a lake where they're known for, they do school. They get in big wads of, you know, so you find a place offshore, much like anywhere on the Tennessee River. You know, there's a phenomenon that happens here where a lot of them leave the ledges and go to the grass.
That's right.
But there's also a contingency, a population of fish that probably just stay on this offshore stuff, the deeper stuff, all year.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, like this, we're kind of in the mouth of a creek, so it's a good migration spot for them. So no matter where they went, what time of the year, you know, fish will come out here and they'll stop here because bait gets on it. So It's good.
Yeah, and that's the key. At the end of the day, whether you're fishing grass, rocks, road beds, whatever. Look at that. Oh, I missed him. I had one. My bait was in the water and one got a hold of it. The whole key is bait fish, forage fish.
That's
and with the exception of when they're on the bank spawning, I think the rest of the year it's all about the bait fish.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Sports Southwest Louisiana Fishing Report. I tell you what, Captain Ked's been trying to do this report now for 4 days. He guides every morning, catches speckled trout and redfish. Every afternoon, thunderstorms come through and he hadn't been able to do the report. So this morning, I'm going to do the report, okay? I tell you what, fish is good here on Calcasieu Lake. Not catching limits each and every day, but they are catching good quantities. Anywhere from the teens to 20s to 30s of a combination mix of speckled trout and redfish. Live bait still doing the best. Across the entire state is doing good. Houma doing good, catching redfish mostly. Delacroix, Hopedale, Shell Beach, they're catching speckled trout and redfish. As far as the bass scene goes, we had a couple of anglers come in last week to try to catch a speckled trout and redfish. They were from Campy, Louisiana. They fish Black Lake all the time. They said, Cajun, right now, we're catching lots of bass around the cypress trees using plastic, multicolored worms, purple red tail, purple white tail. I tell you what, you want any information whatsoever, call old Cajun Phil or Captain Kevin here at the Cajun Paradise Lodge and Charter. Till next week, happy fishing. May God bless, and see you on the water. Bye-bye.
A little better fish, Walt. Hell, he ain't dude, they pull hard and they're deep, so it's kind of hard to tell, but that sucker's right there still pulling hard.
It's a little better fish.
A little better fish, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Keeper.
Yeah, good solid. Well, I tell you what we're gonna do, dude. I think we're gonna call it a day. You know, Guntersville is a famed big bass lake, and that's a nice fish anywhere, but that's not a big bass. And you know, normally in a day of fishing at Guntersville, you catch a handful that are 3 times that size.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But real life is some days you just don't catch big ones, and today's one of those days.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free WAYPOINT TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by NITRO Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. And Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, James asks, what are your best tips for catching catfish at night? For the answer, we asked catfishing expert Chad Ferguson.
One of my favorite ways to catch catfish at night is to anchor on shallow flats that are directly adjacent to deeper water. I like to put the boat on top of the shallow flats, anchor there, cast my baits onto the flats, but also cast onto the structure where it transitions from the deeper water onto the flats. When the sun goes down, you'll usually find catfish moving up onto these shallow flats, following the shad. And a lot of times they'll follow those transitions chasing bait until they completely move up onto those flats. So targeting the flats and the structure where you transition from deep to shallow water is a great area to catch catfish at night, especially right when the sun's going down and a couple of hours after the sun goes down. Once the sun goes down completely, you can transition to just putting your baits onto the shallow flats and generally concentrating on those areas.
Thanks, Chad. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now, stay with us to see the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
It's time for this week's Big Catch of the Week contest. This week's winner is Bernie Sumner of Edmond, Oklahoma, with a 30-pound striper he caught in the lower Illinois River in Oklahoma. To enter the contest, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week box on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send in your big fish photo. You could have your big fish shown here on our show. Let me talk to you for a minute about the stuff you need to be successful out on Lake Guntersville and do what we did today. First off, if you come here during the summertime, I highly recommend an umbrella and a rain suit. The summer thunderstorms all throughout this region, they just pop up, and they are a welcome reprieve from the heat, but they will get you wet on a regular basis. But as far as the real fishing goes, the Strike King 4.0 square bill was the key to everything we did. We caught fish on about every bait imaginable, but that 4.0 square bill was kind of the tool to locate them with. It has a awesome action, but more importantly, it runs the perfect depth for kind of the grass edges on this lake. The 4.0 square bill, the KVD 4.0 is just a huge tool. Likewise, you cannot come here and run around and fish this area without a good set of maps. The mapping is so critical, and this boat, this NITRO boat that I'm running, has a Lowrance in it, and the Navionics chip is just the deal, and it maps Guntersville Lake great. Let me talk to you a second about stuff that matters. On our first stop this morning, we were getting the camera ready. I reached in my pocket, pulled up my phone, and the Facebook app was open, and there was one of those little memories from 2 years ago, and it was a picture of my little boy Fisher, and it was a picture of him standing in this wheat field, and I was vividly taken back to that time where he and I had gone out that day looking at duck blinds, and time just seems to fly by. And what I want to encourage you to do is don't waste opportunities. When you're out fishing, when you're hunting, when you're doing the things you enjoy, take your kids, take your sons, take your daughters, involve your wife, involve your friends, family, whatever, because I tell you what, before you know it, you're looking at a picture of a memory, and it's a memory that you need to make count. That's stuff that matters. I want to thank you for hanging out with us today. We had a great time here on Lake Guntersville, and I hope you learned how to come out here and just catch a lot of bass on a lot of different baits. Barry will be back with you next week, so make sure you join us again. And until then, I'm Crispin Pally. God bless.